Were you down there when Norm passed away?
Yeah, that was awful. Norm was one of my best friends. That was awful.
Really?
Yeah, that was my buddy Todd calling. I woke up from a nap, and I look at my phone. It's my friend Todd. I'm like, hey, what's up? He goes, were you just taking a nap? And I go, yeah, what's up?
Mm.
He goes, you haven't checked your phone, have you? And I go, no. And he goes, Norm Macdonald died. And I go, what? No. And he goes, yeah. And it was one of the few times in my life I just hung up the phone and immediately started sobbing.
Mm.
And I sobbed for like a half hour. I just completely
Oh
lost
my
it.
God.
He was like really like one of my close friends, and it was
Like cut and wait
fucking,
for a fight, huh?
it was awful, dude. It was just, and then I found out like he had cancer for a long time. Didn't tell anybody, and it was hard. It's still really hard. Everyone's pretty shook by it.
Do you remember the last time that you had seen him?
I hadn't seen him for a while, but the last time I saw him was at a bar by our place, and he would watch. He was a big gambler, but the last time I talked to him, when I was quarantined in Minnesota, he would I'd text him and I go, "Hey, what's up, dude?" And he goes, what? Who's this? And he would do this all the time. I go, it's fucking Nick, dude. He goes, Nicky, what are you doing? And I'm like, nothing, I'm quarantined. And he goes, you didn't stand up? Or? And I'm like, no, the fuck? No one's doing stand up. And he goes, what's your plan? And I go, I don't know, I'm going to kick it here. And then I think I'm going to go to Key West. And I go, I might just retire though and just move to Reno and just get like a residency, and then I'll just live in Reno and just work there, just be like an old comic.
Yeah.
And he goes, swear to God, he goes, that's a good idea. And I go, yeah, I don't know, whatever. He goes, no, maybe I'll join you. We'll both headline Reno. And I go, dude, Reno's fucking a mess. I go, no, I don't want to do that. So I go to Key West. A month later, he calls me. He goes, hey, what are you doing? And I go, I don't know. I'm in Key West. What's up with you? And he goes, when are you going to Reno? And I go, dude, that was a joke. I'm not moving to fucking Reno and retiring as like a comic. And he goes, fuck. I thought it was a good idea. And I'm like, no. And so that's the last time I talked to him. And then his his closest friend, Lori Jo, I hit her up after Norman passed, and I was like, hey, are you doing okay? And she goes, one of the last things before Norm died, one of the last things he talked about was moving to Reno with you.
No.
Yeah, and I go, are you serious? She goes, yeah, he was like, he really wanted to do that. And I was like, oh, and then that made me cry again. And yeah, it was just, that was Norm. It was awful.
Damn.
I'll tell you, I have so many Norm stories, but this is one of my favorites. And I was on tour, me, Sandler Spade, Rob Schneider, and Norm was kind of like the wild card. He would pop in for certain dates. So believe Mohican Sun in Connecticut, and we're backstage. Everyone's in Sandler's green room talking, shooting the shit. And me and Norm are in the hallway hanging out. And I don't know why I did this. This long hallway, and this guy walks in. Way down the hallway, walks in the door. And I'm like looking, and we're always kind of suspicious about people that come backstage. And I go, I think that guy's a gun. And Norm goes, what? And I go, I think that guy's a fucking gun, dude. And he's like, oh my God. And he runs into Sandler's room and he goes, there's a gun. There's a man with a gun. And I was like, no, there's not. I was, no, I'm joking. There's not. And he goes, no, next time there's a guy with a gun. And Sandler goes, what the fuck? There's a guy with a fucking gun? And Spade's like, oh no, what the fuck? What's good? And I'm like, no, there's no gun. There's no gun. I was making like a joke just for Norm. And Norm's like, what? How's that a joke? And I'm like, I don't know. And Sandler was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Spade's like, yeah, real cool, man. And I'm like, I'm just gonna go to my room. And Norm's like, yeah, I thought there was a gun. I'm sorry, Nick said it. And I'm like, good Lord.
Real buzzkill.
And the guy walked past, it was a security guard. But yeah.
So he really did have a gun.
He didn't have a gun, but he just looked like somebody that would have a gun.
Yeah, well, people use guns for security, man.
It was just not a good joke on my part, especially poor Norm.
Did you guys ever work together or not?
We did those shows together, and we did like...
Oh, I got a Norm story, too.
we never like were on stage together, like
Yeah.
fucking Bonnie and Clyde or whoever.
I had to go to this casino one time with Norm, right?
God, is he
And
gambling then?
no, he was playing on the show. Adam Egget was there, and I somehow got booked in the feature, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Norm's headlining. I felt like Norm was on pills or he was a little bit lit, but I don't know if that's true. Some people say he never did any drugs. I don't know. He seemed like he was off.
He took pills.
But he could have been, yeah, he could have just been having a, this was like,
Well, he had cancer for a while. When was
right,
this?
so who knows? I don't even know. So, but this is when I was alive and, in my past. So what happened was I go on stage and I ran the light, right? I was like,
not cool, but yeah.
and it was literally in a barn, like attached to a casino, like the place where you could hear like there were like live births, like there was a lot going on,
Oh, from animals or people?
I mean, who knows? Thick things.
You just heard the sludge.
Oh, you heard.
You heard some pussy sludge.
You let the bodies hit the floor. There was nobody catching these things that were being born.
Right.
It was just a lot lot skinny,
free falling. They were free falling, and then they would hit the ground.
a lot of skinny puppy. A
Oh
lot
my
of babies
God.
that were fart powered.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
all right.
yeah. That's my son.
Oh, a little robo fart.
Just that kind of.
So who books this gig? Helen Keller? The fuck?
So anyway, he goes out there and he is like, you can barely even hear him. It's bad. He's just kind of garbling his words, right?
Right.
So anyway, the next day, we're all downstairs. Jerry Mathers is there too. Okay.
What? Well, no.
Swear.
Jerry Mathers is Beaver from Leave It to Beaver.
Bring up a picture of Jerry Mathers, please.
Also, that's a real show for all the kids out there.
Leave
It's
It to
called
Beaver.
Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah.
And Beaver was like the rascal son, right?
Oh, all old shows are porns now, right? There he is, right there. God.
Yeah.
And
What the fuck was he doing? Giving birth
he was fucking
to Eddie Haskell?
I mean, bro, he
Is that
was
the same show.
and yeah, and Eddie Haskell died recently. R.I.P. Very sad. But
Gang violence.
I'm not sure what it was. I think it was
He
Miss.
lived in a nice neighborhood.
I think it was Miss Applebaum or whatever. Whoever the teacher was, that he was always at odds with.
Yeah.
Miss Crabapple or whatever it was. But anyway, so I get up. I get up there. In the morning. Oh, so Mathers is there, right? And I said to him, I was like, he's like, I was just talking to him. I was a huge fan. I bought an autographed picture of him when I was a kid. I had it on my wall at home. I had a Jerry Mathers autographed picture on my wall at home.
That is gross.
Because his name was Theodore and my name Theodore.
Oh, that's right.
So I was just keyed in, right? So anyway, I wish this story would end.
You were like, leave it to Sleazer, dude. He had his picture on, fucking thrown on your fucking eggnog on
he
his
goes,
face.
"Where do you live?" I said, "I live in Santa Monica." He goes, "I used to get some pussy in Santa Monica."
Oh.
That's exactly what he said, bro.
Jeez.
So right there, I'm a little shook. I'm excited. I'm still excited that it's him, but I'm a little shook.
Right.
But anyway, in the morning, Norm's downstairs. We all have to play in this poker tournament. That's part of the weekend deal, the package. And Norm's like, "Man, a lot of hot chicks here, huh?" And I'm looking around, and it's like nobody's hot in this area, right? There hasn't been anybody hot here. If somebody here were hot, you would know about it immediately. They'd be on a calendar.
They would be on the news.
Yeah, they would be on the news. Yeah,
Dead or alive.
yeah, they would be on the news, bro. Yeah, if a decent strand of jeans passed through this town, the fucking fire alarms would go off, right? There has not been.
They would be up from the news to a milk carton in like a week.
There has not been a unique strand of GTAC to roll through this area since fucking what?
Norm was definitely on pills if he was like looking around.
Right.
There's some tail here.
Yeah. So I thought he was serious, right? Because I don't really know him. I'm like, yeah, man, there definitely is. And then he goes, fuck no, there isn't. Right? And it just shook me.
That's so him. That's amazing.
He like baited me into believing that he
and then fucking pulled the rug out.
Yeah.
Dude, he was
fuck no, there isn't.
It's so hard because you never know. I mean, I was one of his good friends for a long time. I'm talking like 15 years.
Wow.
And I still was like, I could kind of gauge, but sometimes I was like, what is he saying?
Right.
But he was out of this world.
And did he chase a lot of women? Did he have a wife or anything?
No, I never met a wife. He has a son, Dylan, who's really cool.
So he must have did sex once, at least.
I mean, I never saw. He was addicted. He was a big gambler, dude.
Really?
Yeah,
he loved to gamble.
Gambling.
And
but
did
he had a bit. He he always had so many gay jokes, but I never knew him to be gay or anything. But he had a joke. He was on Letterman, and or no, it was Conan, and he goes, he was promoting his book, and he goes, yeah, it's not a memoir, but and it's just it's a book, and he goes, you know, I don't talk about being a deeply closeted gay man, and Conan goes, what? You're gay? And he goes, what? No, why'd you say that? And he goes, well, you just said. He goes, no, I'm deeply closeted. And he goes, so you're not gay? He's like, no, I'm straight as an arrow. And he goes, and then he goes, and I'm paraphrasing, forgive me, but he goes, you know, deeply closeted means the guy who's gay, but he's so gay he won't admit it. He hides it. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm straight. It was such a fucking good bit. Again, I fucking paraphrased it, but it's on YouTube.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, I watched one of his clips when he was on, I think, The View. Did you see that clip?
No.
When they're trying to get him to, like, he's trying to be very realistic. The show's, like, ultra liberal, and he's just trying to be just a realist, like.
Yeah, that's how he was.
Yeah, and they're like, they're like, you'll never be back on this show. They're all joking about it and stuff. And he wouldn't because he wasn't, like, just kind of conforming to whatever, like, I don't know, just some ridiculous story.
Why would they have him on?
I don't know. That's
so weird. Like, he's so not. I can see him doing it, like, if they offered it to him, but I can't.
Here we go. Let's get a little bit of it.
That the Democrats don't steal the election from the winner, you know, but who knows?
You like George Bush, don't you?
I love George Bush, man. He's a good man, decent, you know, none of this. And he's, you know, he's not a liar, a crook, murderer, or anything like that. So it'd be good to get the. See, I think we should get the homicide out of the White House and get like a fresh start, because we don't want any more murderers.
I think we should just go on to the next question.
Oh.
Who's the murderers?
Yeah.
Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy.
Yeah, you know, we're not allowed to, you're not allowed to put out no accusations without
That's a little too far.
That's the way it does work.
Let's just go on to the next question.
Yeah.
This is not my week. What can I tell you?
Oh, it's not mine either, and I'm being very nice, okay? Be a good boy. Now, Norm?
Do you never hear that?
No. Listen, we don't need
I don't want to get into this, and I don't want to hear it, and this is not the place to make those accusations, and you're supposed to be funny. Let's get on to the next question. So get with it.
There you go.
This is a live show.
Not for nothing, Norm, but you have been properly chastised by Barbara, so I'm not going to ask the next question.
I thought it was a matter of record.
He's just saying.
Okay.
Let me do this, okay?
They don't even want to talk about the fact
You will
that
not be
maybe the
invited back
guy
if you don't
murdered
shut up.
somebody.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk football.
All right, manslaughter.
Let's talk football.
He's doubling down. Yeah, Norm doesn't play by rules, dude. That's hilarious.
Hope you enjoyed that video, and you can watch another. And you can watch this one, you can watch this one. Different options, different choices. Some guy just brings you one option, not this guy. Two options. Watch one, this one or this one.